All right, so welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a good start to your semester. Um, we have a speaker. She was on here. She disappeared, but she'll hopefully come back and then you'll get to hear from her. But just real quick, so these are our spring meeting dates for February, March, and April. We don't have one in May because that's like pretty much wrapping up the semester. Um, as of now, we're gonna have them on Zoom. We'll let you know if like they're in person or not, but most of our speakers have been online, so it's just been easier. And with COVID and everything, it's just been easier. But they are recorded, so I know a lot of people have like that food science class, and so it's a weird time. But that's why we do the recording. So if people can't come, it's no big deal. You can always watch it back. So those are our dates.
Okay, so y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but Jensen told me that I'm just speaking about basically my journey into dietetics and what I do now. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Oops.
So
Sorry.
I guess the quick and dirty version is that I graduated from LSU in 2000. Oh gosh, when did I graduate? 2009. And I had my undergrad in dietetics. And then from there, I was working at Pennington and I had the awesome opportunity to do a graduate research assistantship. So I went ahead and I did my master's as well at LSU, did that for 2 years. And then from there, I went to Tulane and did my internship at Tulane with a community health focus. And that was absolutely wonderful experience. Can't say enough good things about it. And so then from Tulane, I got my first job at the Baton Rouge General as a PRN clinical dietitian doing inpatient work. And I will back up and say that after I finished my internship, which lasted a year, I felt like there was absolutely no jobs. I was stressing out over the RD exam, which actually was not that bad. I'm sure a lot has changed in a decade since I've taken it. But I was very hard to find a job. And I felt like that inpatient is a great segue into the field because it just gives you that clinical experience that you need. So I started off doing inpatient at Baton Rouge General. I had the telemetry floor, I had the rehab floor, and then I was also doing some work in the ICU as well with tube feeds, TPN. That was wonderful. I loved the ICU. And then from there, I went into Pennington. I had a research position there. After 6 months, realized it wasn't for me. I thought I would love it, and I did not. So lesson learned is that grass is not always greener where you think it's going to be. And so while I was at Pennington, though, there were some perks to the job, lots of autonomy. I was able to work with a very diverse group of individuals, so that was fun. But I ended up getting a job at Woman's as an outpatient dietitian, and I've been here for almost 8 years at this point. And since I've been at Woman's, I started off as a just clinical outpatient dietitian. And from there, I've worked my way up from supervisor into now I'm clinical manager of not only outpatient dietitians, but also for our metabolic weight loss clinic, which is run by one of our physicians who's an obesity medicine specialist. So that's been a learning curve for me. And since I've been at Woman's, we have added weight loss surgery and a cancer pavilion, and our diabetes clinic has expanded, and we're seeing more than just gestational diabetes now. So our program has grown tremendously, and I feel like because of that, I've grown a lot in my profession. So if y'all want background as to what I do in a day, I like to say I put out the fires. That's a lot of what my job is. So I see patients when as needed. So I've been seeing patients all week. So anything from cancer survivorship to metabolic syndrome, PCOS, weight loss, gestational diabetes, pre-certification visits for weight loss surgery, gastrointestinal issues, so Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, IBS, we get that. I just talked to someone who had a colostomy bag. So lots and lots of variety here in the outpatient world. But I was telling my friend you intern today, I said it does make me kind of sad because I don't feel like I get to see my patients as often as I think I would have thought prior to getting this job. A lot of my patients are one and done. So I guess that's the downside. But so in addition to seeing patients, I do a lot of program development. I feel like that's where my passion lies. So we have several weight loss programs here at the Wellness Center that we have included as lifestyle interventions in our metabolic weight loss clinic. One of them is one that I helped create whenever I started here called Balance, which is nutrition and fitness and accountability. So we use our health coaches, which I think is really nice and unique because they essentially take your plan of care and they help the patients carry it out. And so that's one of the things that Jensen, who's a student here, she has helped with data collection and tracking, because part of what I like to do is not only develop a program, but we also track its efficacy. So we want to see, are the patients having results? Do they like it? What's the feedback? What can we tweak, add, edit, take away to make this the best possible patient experience? Because it's largely word of mouth. And so that's how we get a lot of our patient referrals. So program development, we do a lot of community education, or I should say we used to do a lot of community education before COVID. And so we're trying to reintroduce that. So I'm responsible for creating a lot of the community education content, scheduling. So I do a lot of public speaking, which is fine with me if I could learn how to quit saying so much. And then other than that, I can't think of anything else that's would interest y'all, because a lot of it has to do with like billing, coding, nagging people to fill out their documentation, and that's no fun. But I mean, it's part of being a clinical manager, and it is fun because you get to learn a lot of things and you get to work with a great team of people. But I do consider myself a jack of all trades and a master of none, but that's fine. That's fine. So I don't know if that was too vague or too quick or whatever. Y'all let me know, and I'm happy to share more.
Does anybody have any questions? Oh, go, Jess.
I was going to say, can you share a little bit about what you do when you go to, because you're at this wellness center, but you go to Women's Hospital, what is it, like once or twice a week for the diet?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny to see you without your mask. Hey. So whenever I go to the hospital, there's 3 clinics that we have over there. One is the Cancer Pavilion. And so we have a dietitian there who is part of an interdisciplinary team. And so whether she or I see the patients, it's basically symptom management. So we'll go onto the infusion floor, and let's say we have a patient who's having diarrhea, constipation, whatever type of side effect as related to their chemo, then we essentially give them medical nutrition therapy advice so that they can eat and hopefully resolve that symptom from a dietary standpoint. A lot of times with that population, we're struggling to get them to eat because they have no appetite or they're experiencing a lot of nausea, vomiting. And so we do as much as we can from a dietary standpoint to prevent them from losing weight, because the goal is to keep them within 5% of where they start prior to chemo. So it's nice because in the Cancer Pavilion, we see these patients quite often and we're free. And so their access to us is unlimited. So that is a perk of that job. Oncology is personally not for me, but I know Rob and the dietitian there loves it. Then we also have a diabetes clinic. So because Women's is the largest birthing hospital in Louisiana, we've got, I don't know, I think like 60 OBs that have offices at the hospital. And so they will refer their patients who have gestational diabetes, which is diabetes during pregnancy, to our clinic. And so from there, we educate them on carbohydrate counting, pairing with protein, why it's important to eat carbohydrates when you're pregnant, baby needs them for development. You'd be amazed at how many doctors tell their patients to not eat any carbohydrates. And then when they get to us, we're like, okay, mama, you don't have to starve anymore. Like, you're free to eat, some toast and whatever. And they're just so excited. So that's a great job. That is where I see a very highly motivated patient population. But in addition to gestational diabetes, we also see pregnant moms who may have type 1, pregnant moms who may have type 2. or just non-pregnant patients in general, because we have added on an endocrinologist. So we'll see type 1 and type 2. And the CDE that we have currently is a pump trainer. And we are also involved in some research studies currently where we're putting continuous glucose monitors onto patients. So very busy clinic. I actually stuck a CGM on myself. I recommend that everyone do that so you can have some empathy when dealing with those patients. And then for our weight loss surgery clinic, we no longer have a weight loss surgeon who is here, but we do have surgeons that do surgery at Woman's. And so our weight loss surgery dietitian here essentially will see patients pre-op and post-op. Sometimes your insurance requires that you see a patient more than once prior to surgery. And so essentially what we do there is make sure that they're mentally ready to understand the ramifications of surgery. So yes, it will help you lose weight, but did you know that you can only have a cup of a food at a time for the rest of your life, and that you can't drink through a straw, and that you shouldn't have carbonated drinks? So helping them understand other things that maybe they didn't know prior, and teaching them how to live a healthful way after surgery. And then something else that we touch on that may be unique to Woman's, maybe not. We do see patients who have weight loss surgery in order to get pregnant. And then we have to work with them post-operatively so that they can have a healthy pregnancy that can be sustained and lead to a full-term birth. So is that answer your question, Jensen? Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, good.
I have a question. I hope this doesn't come off rude, but I'm just very curious. But is there a reason why you waited to go and do your dietetic internship at Tulane, or was it just kind of like it happened that way, or change of heart, or?
No, that's fine. I'll be totally honest. So whenever, and this is probably a lesson to you all. So whenever I was graduating, I had a boyfriend at the time. And so I was trying to do something quick, easy. And so I applied to one internship, which was a 6-month internship, and I didn't get in. And so at that point, I had to just reassess what I wanted to do. And I call it right place at the right time. But I was already working at Pennington, and the doctor there who ran the clinic just happened to have this opportunity. And so I said, well, I didn't get in, so might as well go for it. And so that is why I did my master's. And I will say that at the time I felt like it gave me an upper hand, but now it's required. But at the time it gave me an upper hand. And then after I graduated, I got into Tulane, but I learned my lesson and I applied to more than one internship. For sure. I applied to, I think, like 3 or 4. Yeah.
So whenever you worked at Pennington, what exactly, can you explain more about what your job was like there?
Yes. Okay. So when I was there, everything depended upon what studies they currently had going on in the clinic. So your job could change theoretically all the time, right? Because certain studies don't last forever. So when I was there, there was a nutrition and weight loss surgery study where we would basically score patients to determine whether or not they were a good fit for our candidate for surgery. That was one of the things I did. One of the other things I did was we went and we taught diabetes prevention program in a high school setting with the goal that we were going to help these kids learn about healthy eating and get them more active. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the diabetes prevention program, but it was a huge study that they did at Pennington. It was one of the sites. And so they just basically took that model and we're trying to expand it into the community. And now it's actually approved by Medicare. And so we do it here at the Wellness Center too. And then other than that, the last thing that I remember doing at Pennington before I left was something called food photography. So they had a study with the military. And what I did was I looked at before and after pictures of basically plates of food that these soldiers were fed. And I had to determine from food photography what I thought their intake was. And so I had to measure out carbs, protein, fat, calories based off of pictures. So that was interesting. That was newer technology at the time, but now I think it's kind of common because I see some apps that use that as well.
So honestly, what were your like favorite and least favorite parts of working there? Like, would you recommend it to anyone?
Pennington?
Yes.
I just no, I liked the idea of research because I like testing things. That's why I think I like program development so much here. So I loved the variety of work that it provided. But I will say that where I really liked working in the clinic more because I felt like I had more patient interaction on the clinic side, where the research coordinators were, because you were constantly in clinic, you were moving, it was very fast paced. And I liked that pace. Whereas when I was in the research side, kind of away from the others, I felt, this is me personally too, right? I just felt a little bit more isolated and I didn't get to interact with people as often as I would have liked. So it was just a slower pace.
All right. Well, if that's it, then I think you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Thank you so much for getting on.
All right. You're all welcome. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good one. All right. So if anybody wasn't here when we first started, why is this doing this? These are our spring meeting dates. And like I said earlier, if y'all didn't hear it, I know like some people have a food science class that ends at a weird time. So if you can't get on live, no big deal. That's why we do the recordings. So you'll have that. And then for brand, Lindsay, did you want to talk about this or?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
So it's $5 to join for this semester. It's a great way to meet some of the local RDs and interns and other students. It's good for involvement. We have we've had socials the past couple of months, a few socials, I think. And then we have like meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so membership is only $5 for January through May. So definitely something to think about joining. I think that's it for that. And then if there's any like she said, socials or anything like that goes on with brand, we'll let y'all know in the meetings or in the Facebook group and stuff. Come on. Okay, so our spring membership is $15 just for the semester. So if in the fall you only paid for one semester, or if you're new, you can Venmo us at the Venmo on the screen, or if you need to drop off like money or like a check or anything, you can bring it to Dr. McKinley's office. And then there's a hazing training that needs to be done. So I have the link to it. I'll make sure it goes out in the email. But if you're new this semester, if you did it in the fall, you don't have to do it again. But if you're new this semester, then you have to get that done too. And this is it. So it takes less than 30 minutes. You'll get a certificate at the end that you just have to send to our email. And like I said, if you did it in the fall, you don't have to do it again. But if you're new in the spring, you do have to do it. Okay, Cassie, this is you. ASA updates.
Okay, so the first ASA meeting is tomorrow. So the 26th, yes, at 4:30 and 102 Nap Hall. The Ag Speaker Series do you have the pamphlet, Abby, or?
I do not.
I don't have the pamphlet in front of me, but it's like 3 speakers and they're throughout the semester. I don't think one's in January. I think it'll start in February. But they're just either alumni. I think they're all alumni because it's the Alumni Speaker Series. And that's pretty much all I know about that. But if you're interested, you can go to them. I think they record them on Zoom. So the College of Ag Organization Club Fair is going to happen on January 31st. That's a Monday. And it's from 3 to 5. I'm going to be there at like 2:45 to set up the table. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to looking for like 2 to 3 volunteers just to sit at the table with me. So if you're interested in that, there's going to be like in the post meeting email, Lindsay's going to have like a Google Excel spreadsheet that you can go and put your name and your email, and then I'll contact you if I need to.
Yeah, and it'll really be like 2:45 to 5:15, just so that we can like set up and pick up. So, but yeah, if y'all want to volunteer for that, you can sign up in the thing after that. And then Easter baskets.
Okay, so the Easter baskets, that's going to be sometime in April. We don't really have that much information about the Easter baskets at this time. We'll probably have more in the next meeting. And then for National Nutrition Month, so it's in March and we're looking for some ideas, anything special that we can do. So we're going to have a survey for y'all to fill out. And it's going to have just one question. It's going to ask for any of your ideas. So if you have any ideas, then you can go ahead and like write it in on that survey and we'll take a look at them and see if we can incorporate them into National Nutrition Month.
And there's something else coming up about that in a second. I'll tell you. Okay. So volunteer opportunity. Like I said, Cassie kind of just explained this, but this is the organization club fair on like this coming Monday. So from 3 to 5, if you want to come a little bit early to help set up or stay a little bit later to break down, we would appreciate it. But we just need a few people just to come stand at the table and kind of talk about SNDA and what we do and what we are. And it's going to be outside in the space between the Wooden and the Art and Design building. And they said if the weather's bad, we'll just be under the little covered walkway. But they're going to have like popcorn, insomnia cookies, water, all kinds of stuff. So
I heard the first 50 get like a free blanket.
oh yeah, they did see that. Okay, so Tiger to Tiger mentoring. Just a reminder that if you're taking part in this, you need to be meeting at least once every other month, and then fill out the surveys after. So there's one for mentors, one for mentees, just to like say that you met and what you talked about and all that good stuff. And then we're looking for more people to share recipes. So if you want to get together with your pair and like make a recipe and then it can be posted, you can do that. I think there was an email sent out about it. And then potential event on February 10th. I didn't even see that you added that, Dr. McKinley. What's that about?
I'll let Rachel talk about that.
Okay.
You just have like a preview
Right.
of possible events.
Yeah, so like February 9th is like National Pizza Day, and it's also like the week of Valentine's Day. So we thought about doing like a little pizza get together social event, but we are waiting to hear from LSU about what the plans are for in-person versus Zoom events. So potential pizza event coming up. If it's happening, I'll be sending you guys an email with a link and y'all can fill out RSVP if you're coming. If you have any allergies, you can tell us and we'll make sure we have something you can eat too. Don't worry.
Cool. Rachel, you sent the email about the recipe thing, right?
Yeah. And also if you'll do that, you can log that as your meeting for the month. So like you can meet up, do that, and also participate in the recipe event. I can send the link for the sign up for the recipe activity here too.
Okay, yeah.
So
In the chat. Cool. All right. Member of the month.
All right, so yay, January member of the month, Lydia. I don't know if she's on the call. She probably has class. She probably has food science. But yay, Lydia's been a really active member of SNDA since she got here as a freshman last year. She did not let COVID in fall of 2020 stop her from getting involved, coming to meetings, donating stuff. And she's been doing well this year with her volunteering. So I want to recognize her for that. So yay, Lydia.
Okay, reminder to seniors, DICUS is doing like 21 days, so just wanted to throw that out there. So be wrapping up and getting your last little touches on everything. Just thought I'd throw that in there for y'all. Okay, so National Nutrition Month and 40th anniversary. So we did a t-shirt fundraiser in the fall, and I don't if you participated in that, you got your t-shirts, sweatshirts, all of that through Red Stick. So we were thinking about doing another one in the spring for National Nutrition Month and the 40th anniversary. So we were going to take a poll, which I don't know how to do in Zoom. If you know how to do that, you can do that. But if y'all would like be interested in that, if you would want to buy stuff, we just don't want to do it if like nobody's going to participate, you know? So we're going to do a poll for that real quick.
Just kind of put in the chat if you would want like a yes or no on doing an order for a t-shirt. We'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, just say in the chat, like yes or no if you.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly, I don't see a no coming, so
Yeah.
I think we know where we're at on that.
Okay, cool. All right. And that's pretty much it. So like we always say, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Make sure you're following us. It's always the way that you'll probably find things out the quickest about what's going on and what we're doing. well, there was supposed to be a slide here. This is y'all can do attendance while I talk about it. There's supposed to be a slide about a give back night that we're doing with Andy's, so Peyton can talk about it real quick.
Yeah. So we are doing a give back night next Tuesday, February 1st at Andy's Frozen Custard. And if you go between 5 and 9 p.m., a percentage of the proceeds will go to SNDA. You don't need to mention SNDA or anything. You just go and get something. So
yeah, like they don't ask you, they literally just every single person that buys something in those 4 hours will get. So it should be, I feel like that's like their prime hours. So it should be pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so mark your calendars for that. We'll share it on like social media and stuff to remind y'all, but I'll see all of y'all online on Tuesday. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I'll have everything that we mentioned sent in that email from Lindsay that y'all will get soon. So yeah, just don't forget about the give back night. Don't forget about the volunteer opportunities next week. And don't forget to meet with your mentors and mentees. I think that's it.